This is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. The governor changed the time. He normally updates us about COVID-19 today, but his message is the same it's been for weeks. We each need to do something to get COVID under control.
Amanda Quintana looked at the latest numbers and shares why state leaders fear COVID is only going to get worse. Amanda?
After another day of more than 4,500 new cases, the message from health leaders is very clear. We're going in the wrong direction. They say there is time to turn it all around, but we need to do so quickly.
Frankly, I'm surprised and disappointed.
A reaction health leaders in Wisconsin believe they wouldn't be having if we all were doing our part.
The worst case scenario is that it's really just getting started.
Statistics show only about 1 in 10 people in Wisconsin have gotten the virus, which shows Governor Evers there are a lot of people who could still get sick.
If we want to do this right and stop it in its tracks, people have to wear a freaking mask.
Today, the governor pointed at Republicans and Donald Trump's rallies being big parts of the problem. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he encourages masking up and sent us this picture.
Encouraging but not doing doesn't sell in my book. That is not leadership.
But it's conflicting views of the virus and the wrong information that doctors say are confusing people.
There might be one leader who says, you know, times are really bad right now. Public health officials saying it's never been worse. But you can also find someone who says, you know what, this virus isn't really that bad.
Dr. Jeff Pothoff says it's the people that choose to take the risk, have a party, go to a bar, that get COVID, thinking it won't happen to them.
Once you catch the disease, that's just it. You live with the consequences.
Leaders say testing will not stop the spread. It's all about quarantining and staying home. So even if you test negative, if you've been exposed to someone who has the virus, there's still 12 more days after you test negative, after you've been exposed, that you could still get infected with the virus.
All right, Amanda, thank you. And we will likely surpass 2,000 deaths to COVID here in Wisconsin in the next few hours. Now, for context, that's the size of the entire community of Shorewood Hills. We're currently at 1,997. Meanwhile, another 142 went into the hospital. Only about 15% of hospital beds remain open. Of all the state's total cases, about 46,000 are currently active.
Statewide, doctors are worried about space. We are on track to run out of ICU beds in Wisconsin in the next 2 to 6 weeks. Other parts of the upper Midwest face surging numbers right now, too. Michigan's governor tightened indoor gathering restrictions today, and South Dakota has an incredibly high 46% positivity rate, which means nearly half of all tests are coming back positive.
We are now seeing so many more people who are congregating indoors where we know the virus concentrates.
Johns Hopkins University found the national 7-day average of new cases jumped 50% to more than 76,000 a day. More people are dying from COVID, too, reaching an average of more than 800 a day.
Rural hospitals across the state say while cases are increasing, they say they have enough supplies to do their jobs. We went to Southwest Wisconsin to check in on their supply of N95 masks and other PPE and how they deal with an emergency shortage. Upland Hills in Dodgeville sitting pretty good right now. They showed us their stock of 16,000 N95 masks. As for how they hand those out to staff, well, it varies depending on the department. Generally, though, if a staff member is dealing with a COVID patient, they change out of their mask every shift. And in Grant County, Grant Regional Health Center, that's in Lancaster, talked to us about their burn calculator. That's something all hospitals use to keep an eye on their weekly use and whether it's on the rise.
I think we feel now we're okay. Doesn't mean in 2 weeks when we get a lot more patients, we won't be reaching out to other areas to try to find it.
Now, something hospitals have to factor in is the supply chain. Over the past 6 or so months, it's been erratic, so conserving all that PPE is important, but there is a contingency plan in place.
Highland High School in southwest Wisconsin will switch to virtual learning for 1 week due to COVID-19 concerns. High school students will not have classes on Monday, but will start on Tuesday. High school football practice will continue on Monday. The district's Facebook page says elementary and middle schools will continue to have in-person learning.
All right, a mostly clear and cool end to your Friday, but what are we looking at for the weekend? Let's check in. First forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, we got bright sunshine, and that will continue until sunset tonight. And tomorrow we should see plenty of sunshine as well. Visible cloud track shows very little in the way of cloudiness across the state of Wisconsin. There were some clouds in eastern Wisconsin, some clouds out to the west. Those have all dissipated. And Doppler track right now pretty much free of precipitation across the upper Midwest. Low temperatures this morning range from the teens up in Black River Falls in central Wisconsin to mainly 20s across the rest of southern Wisconsin. A few places like Monroe and Mineral Point bottomed out at 30 degrees. Current temperatures range from the 30s north and east of Madison to 40 in Madison, 43 in Janesville, and low to mid 40s over southwestern Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, we'll be down into the upper 20s to lower 30s with clear skies. Tomorrow will be a sunny, windy, and milder day with a high of 54 degrees for Halloween, but we'll see some clouds moving late in the afternoon. There could even be a couple of sprinkles of rain during the evening hours. I'll have more on the Halloween forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Kyle Rittenhouse is coming back to Wisconsin, this time to face homicide charges. A judge ordered his extradition during a hearing in Illinois this afternoon. Rittenhouse's attorneys say he was defending himself when he shot and killed 2 people in Kenosha this summer. They feel he cannot get a fair trial in Wisconsin. Lake County prosecutors say it should be up to a Wisconsin judge, not one in Illinois, to decide whether there is enough evidence to move the case forward.
Voter suppression and intimidation are felonies in Wisconsin, but that doesn't always stop people from trying.
Researchers have already seen it happen and expect that there will be more on Election Day. Our Jamie Perez joins us now to explain. Jamie?
The experts that I spoke with today said misinformation is likely to spike in the final few days before the election, which is right now. So that's exactly what you all should be looking out for. And obviously misinformation is really spread widely online. But the day of the election, they say that there may be some groups of extremists who show up to the polls trying to intimidate you. They say it's best not to engage and to just let the election inspector and police handle it.
If anybody uses force or threatens to use force to prevent somebody from voting, or if anybody tries to put somebody in a state of duress to prevent them from voting, that's a felony in Wisconsin, and people who commit that kind of conduct should be prepared to be investigated and to spend time behind bars.
Experts also say that people of color are more likely to be targets of intimidation and misinformation in the days leading up to the election. And coming up tonight at 6, I'm going to go over how experts are making sure that the integrity of the election is upheld.
Jamie, thank you. When we vote, we want to know that our vote counts, and that's largely up to our poll workers whose work doesn't stop after the polls close.
Madeline O'Neill is live outside of the city clerk's office in Madison with the process behind counting every ballot. Maddie?
As you can see, I'm actually at home, but when polls close at 8 p.m., the first step for poll workers is to make sure that everyone in line for in-person voting has the opportunity to do so and make sure that no one else joins the line. Then after that, there's a long checklist that even seasoned poll inspectors use to make sure that every ballot is counted. Poll workers must check absentee delivery bags, emergency bins, and tabulators to make sure they're empty, and verify one more time that the running count on the tabulators matches the number of voters signed into the poll books. Once they're sure every vote is counted, the ballots are kept secure in a bag with a tamper-evident seal.
While these ballots are being sealed in the bag and the poll workers are checking to make sure that all ballots are being counted, anyone can be there to observe what is taking place. So that's all done out in the open.
At the end of the night, the polling location's chief inspector returns the election day documentation to the city clerk's office. Now, believe it or not, there's plenty more that goes into that. We'll walk you through the process tonight at 6.
Maddie, thank you. The Wisconsin Elections Commission wants you to be prepared before you head to the polls on Election Day, releasing a list of things you should know before you head to cast your vote. They're recommending all voters wear face coverings, but they are not required. The WEC is reminding you polling places are prepared for voting during the pandemic. They do have the necessary sanitation supplies and PPE. Voters who have not already mailed their absentee ballots should drop them off by Election Day, not mail them in at this time. Voters can find their polling place at myvote.wi.gov, the website there. Polls will open at 7 a.m. on Tuesday, and they will close at 8 p.m.
For the third time in 1 week, President Trump is making a stop in Wisconsin. The president held a rally in Green Bay this afternoon with Senator Ron Johnson. The president discussed law and order, his USMCA trade deal, how he is polling across the country, and COVID-19. The president claims a COVID vaccine will be out very soon.
Seniors will be the first in line to get it, and we're making it available free because it's not your fault that this thing happened. And the vaccine, by the way, with or without the vaccine, we're rounding the turn, but the vaccine makes it go faster. The vaccines are going to be out very soon, very, very soon. Our vaccine will eradicate the virus, end the pandemic, quickly restore normal life. I just want normal life. You do.
President Trump will be back in Wisconsin 1 day before the election. The president will hold a rally at the Kenosha Regional Airport Monday night at 7 o'clock. First Lady Melania Trump will be in West Bend tomorrow.
And Democratic nominee Joe Biden will also be in the Badger State. He'll be in Milwaukee around 6:30 tonight. Former President Barack Obama expected to join Biden on the campaign trail this weekend. There's no word on if the former president will be in Milwaukee tonight, however. This will be the second time Mr. Biden has visited Milwaukee this election season. Former Secretary of State and Democratic candidate for president back in 2004, John Kerry, virtually campaigning for the Biden-Harris ticket. Mr. Kerry talked to News 3 Now earlier today and says there is a lot at stake when it comes to this election, including the economy, the COVID-19 response, and America's reputation. Earlier this week, the Marquette Law School poll showed that Biden was ahead of Trump in Wisconsin. Kerry says don't pay attention to any polls.
This race is close, and it's going to be close, and people need to go out and vote. And people ought to vote even if it isn't. I mean, look at what happened in 2016. Everybody thought Hillary was going to win. A whole bunch of Hillary supporters didn't come out. And the result is where we are today. So I think it's...
Voters in Texas have already cast more early ballots ahead of next week's election than they did during all of 2016. That signals an unprecedented surge of voting in a state that was once the country's most reliably Republican, but may be drifting toward legitimate battleground status. More than 9 million ballots have been cast as of today in the nation's second most populous state, exceeding the 8.9 million cast in 2016. This year's numbers were aided by early voting being extended a week in Texas amid the pandemic.
And our entire team at News 3 Now will be working hard to bring you live local coverage throughout election night. We'll be streaming local content nonstop on channel3000.com and our streaming app, Channel 3000 Plus. Head to channel3000.com/apps to find your connection to our coverage. Again, that's channel3000.com/apps.
There's more to come tonight on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, at least 14 people are dead following an earthquake in Europe. We'll have the latest on the damage. And then coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from the volunteers who empty Madison's ballot drop boxes to help protect others from COVID-19. That's next hour. On Wall Street today, the Dow caps off its worst week since March, falling 157.5. The NASDAQ tumbled 274, and the S&P 500 loses 40 points. We'll be right back.
Register and vote at an early voting site until October 30th. If you're registered, the last day to vote early is November 1st. Bring a photo ID and proof of residency. iwillvote.com/WI for more information.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original windows. It's bone chilling.
Folks, there's no need to be afraid of old windows. Just call Feldco for 50% off.
Right now at Feldco, get 50% off windows. Plus, no interest for 1 year.
50% off ends Halloween. Hurry, call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
To fix the economy, we have to get control over the virus. We need increased federal support for testing, doubling the number of drive-through testing sites. It's a simple measure. Everyone needs to wear a mask in public. We need real plans, real guidelines, with uniform, nationwide standards. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Millions
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider. They do? Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals. Wow, really? Really. Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
Register and vote at an early voting site until October 30th. If you're registered, the last day to vote early is November 1st. Bring a photo ID and proof of residency. iwillvote.com/WI for more information.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear from the volunteers who empty Madison's ballot drop boxes to help protect others from COVID-19. And public health is making the free flu shots at the Alliant Energy Center available to more people.
Wisconsin's votes will matter. That's why on election night, News 3 Now is committed to covering the local vote live on Channel 3000 and on our digital streaming service, Channel 3000 Plus. Download it now. Join the News 3 Now team as we track an election like no other. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A strong earthquake in the Aegean Sea between the Turkish coast and the Greek island of Samos collapsed buildings in western Turkey, killing 14, injuring over 400. Earthquake officials there say the small tsunami actually struck the city of Izmir. That's Turkey's third largest city. Officials say 12 people were killed there, including one person who drowned. 2 teenagers were killed on Samos when a wall collapsed. Seismologists said the earthquake had a magnitude of 6.9. Officials said at least 70 people were rescued from wrecked buildings.
Authorities say Full House actress Lori Loughlin has reported to a federal prison in California to begin serving her 2-month sentence for her role in the college admissions bribery scandal. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston said today that Loughlin was being processed at the federal lockup in Dublin, California. In August, she was sentenced to 2 months, and her fashion designer husband, Massimo Giannulli, got 5 months for paying $500,000 in bribes to get their 2 daughters into the University of Southern California as rowing recruits. Well, it's the Halloween weekend, and it's going to be a tale of 2 days this weekend, right, Gary?
Well, fortunately, Halloween will be the milder of the two. As far as the trick-or-treat forecast is concerned, during the early evening hours, we're probably looking at the mild weather still continuing. A cold front wouldn't have come through by that point, but we're looking for about a 5 p.m. temperature of 52, 6 and 7 p.m. right around 50 degrees. Now, there'll be some more clouds and even the possibility for a couple of sprinkles of rain, so those kids that can go out trick-or-treating, keep that in mind, but RIP for the warm weather, because Sunday will be a much colder day. In fact, 3 things you need to know. We'll look for windy conditions over the weekend. Those winds will be out of the south for tomorrow. That'll bring high temperatures in the middle 50s. Sunday, those winds shift around to the north and northwest, and temperatures drop back into the upper 30s to around 40-degree temperatures for highs. But we'll look for mild weather to return for next week. Upper 40s on Monday, and then temperatures around 60 by Election Day Tuesday, and staying in the upper 50s to lower 60s through the rest of the week and into the following weekend. And it also will be dry. Other than that chance of a few light showers on Saturday evening, we're looking for dry weather through the end of next week, with the next chance of showers and thunderstorms probably Sunday night into Monday of the following week. On Weather Track, upper level winds right now still out of the northwest, but they are flattening out to the west of us. So that's usually a sign that temperatures will turn milder. And especially when those winds come off of the Rocky Mountains, they're able to sink and be compressed a little bit. That warms them up. And so temperatures are milder out to the west, and that's heading in our direction. But notice behind that, the winds shift back again to a northwesterly direction, and that's what will come in for Sunday. As we look at the current weather map, there is a warm front to the west of us, and then a cold front farther to the west of there. If you look at temperatures right now, in between those two, temperatures are in the 60s to lower 70s. Now, we're probably not going to get that warm, but it's better than the 30s to around 40-degree temperatures that we have here right now. So, again, that milder weather will come through for one day tomorrow, and then we'll turn colder again for Sunday. And you can see this on Future Track. Light winds tonight, high pressure almost overhead, but by tomorrow tomorrow morning, those winds start to pick up out of the southeast. And then as we head into the day tomorrow, those winds come right in out of the south. And that brings in temperatures that will probably be in the middle 50s. Now, by tomorrow evening, this is 7 p.m., notice a couple of sprinkles of rain. We're still seeing the southwesterly wind, so that'll keep temperatures mild for the trick-or-treaters. But notice the wind shift to the northwest. That's the cold front that'll come through. And then by Sunday morning, the winds out of the northwest, temperatures will be around freezing or a little bit below, maybe even a couple of flurries possible then. We clear out for the rest of Sunday by Sunday afternoon. And then on Monday, look what happens. Those winds start to come back around to the southwest and temperatures start to rebound. And we'll see that trend through much of next week. In fact, high temperatures will be above normal beginning on Tuesday and lasting all the way through Monday of the following week. But there are signs that will turn colder after that because the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook shows colder than normal weather is not far to our north and west. So for tomorrow, our Halloween forecast, 54 for a high. Sunny skies for much of the day, but clouds will start to arrive later in the afternoon west of Madison. 7 to 10-day forecast. Notice that 38-degree temperature on Sunday with brisk winds, but then we warm right back up. Upper 50s by Election Day Tuesday, upper 50s to around 60 for the rest of the week, and then shower and thunderstorm chances from Sunday night into Monday of the following week. As we take a look at first warn traffic, it's a Friday, and the roads are showing that. On the Beltline, we're still seeing some delays in the westbound direction between about Fish Hatchery Road and Park Street. We were seeing some delays on the eastbound side. Looks like those have cleared up a little bit. So as far as travel times are concerned, right now, 15 minutes on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, a minute longer taking the westbound commute, and then heading out of Madison from Beltline down to Janesville will take you 26 minutes, 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 from Middleton, and from downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. It's a 17-minute commute. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, the Milwaukee Brewers are making moves in the young off-season. We'll have the latest just ahead.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
And how you can protest. Let's turn off the noise and look at the facts about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's government-run health care plan. Their plan could lead to hospitals being closed, put Medicare coverage at risk, and give benefits to illegal immigrants. Their plan is just too dangerous for seniors like us. No amount of noise will change that. Learn more at seniorsbeware.com.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Save today with Menard's great selection of birdseed. Enchanted Gardens Black Oil Sunflower Seed is a perfect seed for attracting a wide variety of birds. Right now, pick up a 50-pound bag for just $18.49 after 11% rebate. Get your yard ready for winter with Pool On Pro. Easily handle tough blowing tasks like clearing wet, heavy leaves. Save on everything you need with 11% off. Pool On Pro, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
We aren't radical, so why would we want one representing us in Madison? Chris Marion is an extreme partisan liberal who's just fine with calling political opponents Nazis, dictators, and enemies. And Chris Marion wants to take more of your paycheck, too. Marion supports eliminating levy limits, causing property taxes to skyrocket, crushing families as they try to recover. And Marion backs the radical Green New Deal that will cost trillions, destroy jobs, and increase taxes. Chris Marion, just too radical.
As a retired weatherman, I like things I can predict. That's why I chose an AARP Medicare supplement insurance plan from United Healthcare. It's the kind of plan with predictable out-of-pocket costs. Plus, the plan I chose has a low to 0% chance of copays. It's a sunny day for me.
Honey, you're doing it again.
I'll stop.
The only Medicare supplement plans with the AARP name. Medicare supplement plans have no networks and no referrals, so you can take charge.
What's this election about? It's about the people who built this country. What's Biden done for working families? Nothing. Sold us out with NAFTA, now weekly selling us out with China. Trump? Say what you want, but he has our backs. Increased our take-home pay, gave us better trade deals, playing hardball with China, bringing jobs back home. Trump? He's put American workers first.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Hall of Fame cornerback Packers legend Herb Adderley has died. He played on 6 NFL title teams over a 12-year career with Green Bay and Dallas. He was a star running back at Michigan State, but Packers coach Vince Lombardi switched him to defense. He played in 4 of the first 6 Super Bowls. He won 5 titles with Green Bay and 1 with Dallas. Along with former teammates Fuzzy Thurston and Forrest Gregg, Adderley is one of 3 players in pro football history to play on 6 championship teams. Herb Adderley was 81 years old.
Well, for the second week in a row, the Packers will be without one of their best offensive weapons. Running back Aaron Jones suffered that calf injury last week in practice, missed the game against Houston. He'll also miss Sunday's game against NFC North rival Minnesota. Cornerback Kevin King also out. A number of Packers are listed as questionable. That includes left tackle David Bakhtiari and place kicker Mason Crosby. Brewers making some roster moves in the offseason, mostly saying goodbye to guys. Milwaukee announcing the club options for Ben Gamble, Jed Jerko, and Eric Sogard have all been declined, making all of them free agents. And last night was the big one. The Crew declined Ryan Braun's $15 million club option. A final check of your First Warn weekend forecast when we return. Stay with us.
Your local Monk's Bar and Grill is open for dine-in guests and convenient takeout. Come visit Monk's and enjoy award-winning apps, burgers, and more while dining safely with us. Visit monksbarandgrill.com to order online and easily view our menus.
I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work with Democrats and Republicans. I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as for those who do. We will act on the first day of my presidency to get COVID under control. We'll act to pass my economic plan that will finally reward work, not wealth in this country. We'll act to pass my health care plan to provide affordable, accessible health care. And we'll act to restore our faith in democracy and our faith in one another. With our voices and our votes, we must free ourselves from the forces that pull us apart, hold us down, and hold us back. And if we do so, we'll once more become one nation, under God, indivisible, a nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
He's erratic.
I have 5 different strategies. I could change any moment.
Refuses to lead.
I don't take responsibility at all.
Or rely on experts.
One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
Enough.
As president, I'll make you a promise. I'll protect America. I will defend us from every attack, seen and unseen, always, without exception, every time.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
How often does Todd Novak vote with Republican Party leadership? 100% of the time. That's right. Now he votes 100% of the time with the Republican Party. Novak voted with his party leadership to protect polluters and let insurance companies cut coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. Novak said he would be an independent voice, then sided with corporate special interests 100% of the time. Todd Novak has changed. He's not working for us.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we live where you live, so we know that to get the job done right, you need quality gear. And right now, shop great low prices on top brands of workwear, footwear, and more during our fall workwear event. Like these men's Dickies Flex Carpenter Pants, $44.99, $10 off all Wolverine work boots, and gear up for hunting season with these Arctic Shield boot insulators, only $31.99. Buy online and pick up your items in our convenient drive-thru.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Take a break from cooking at home and order takeout from your local Monk's Bar and Grill. Monk's is offering curbside pickup takeout service for your safety and convenience during these difficult times. Visit monksbarandgrill.com for takeout menus and online ordering.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, 4 days to go. President Trump and Joe Biden zigzagging across the Midwest. Will Biden rebuild the blue wall, or can Trump pull off a Rust Belt upset again? Plus, African Americans are casting ballots in numbers that could rival records. But why so many of their votes may not be counted? The new concerns tonight. And we go on the road to find out why women voters are flocking to this cemetery. And it has nothing to do with Halloween. That's all tonight here on the CBS Evening News.
And Gary has a final check of the weekend forecast.
Well, look for clear skies tonight. Low temperatures in the upper 20s for Halloween. Look for a high of 54 with sunny skies. There might be a shower or two for the trick-or-treaters during the evening.
Gary, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.